Hey guys, welcome back. Today's lesson is basically the opposite of yesterday's lesson. Yesterday, you were given the equation in slope-intercept form, and then we wrote our final answer in standard form. Today, we're going to reverse that. They're going to give us the equation in standard form, and our job will be to write it in slope-intercept form. And you've done this a million times. I'm sure you remember it. It's not too difficult. Here we go. And if you missed it the last few times you've seen it, here's your last chance. I think it's easy. I think you'll like it. Okay, so first, right now it's in standard form because we have an xy constant. The directions say to write it in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So essentially what you're going to do is you need to get y by itself on the left side of the equation, and you cannot have any numbers in front of it. And when there's no number in front, it really means there's a 1. But you can't have anything else in front of the y term, not even a negative. So we basically need to get y by itself. So focus on this. We need to isolate this guy, which means we need to get rid of this guy, and we're going to do that by moving it to the other side. When we move it to the other side, that's going to make it a negative. It'll change the sign. Now I say that but that's kind of a shortcut. The real way to show your work, and you don't really have to show your work, what we're really doing is to isolate the 2y, we're going to subtract 3x on both sides. We're going to do the opposite. Okay, now the 3x's cancel. Bring down the negative 2y. That negative is stuck to the 2. Bring down your equal sign. And now on the right side, notice the 3x turned to a negative. We just moved it over and it became a negative. These are not like terms, so we can't do anything to them. We're just going to write them both. One of them has an x and one doesn't, so they're not like terms. We're going to write them both down, but in slope-intercept form, we want the x term first. So I'm going to write the x term, negative 3x, and then the positive 1. All right, now it's almost there, but remember there's no number allowed to be in front of the y. So the next thing we need to do is get rid of that negative 2 in front. So we're going to divide everything by negative 2. Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. When you divide by a negative, it essentially changes all the signs. Or remember, when you're multiplying and dividing, 2 negatives make a positive and 1 negative is a negative. So the negative 2's cancel. We get y equals, okay? Here, 2 does not divide into 3, so we're just going to leave it 3 halves, but 2 negatives will make a positive. 3 halves x, okay? And then here, 2 doesn't divide into 1 either, so we're going to leave it 1 half, but 1 negative makes a negative 1 half. And that's it. This is slope-intercept form because y is by itself. Then I have the x term, and then I have the constant. And if they asked me to go further, this would be my slope, this is my y-intercept. But the directions here say write the equation in slope-intercept form. So this whole thing is your answer. Okay, hopefully you guys remember that. Let's just do another example. This is pretty much the same exact thing. So if you already remember it and are sure that you know what you're doing, you can honestly move on if you want to, or fast forward. Okay, so same thing, we've got to get y by itself. Okay, slope-intercept form means get y by itself. So this is my goal. To get the y by itself, I'm going to move this 3x to the other side, and it's going to, sorry, I said 3x. I'm going to move the 7x to the other side, and that's going to make it a negative 7x. If you want to show the steps, you're going to subtract 7x on both sides. Okay, now the 7x's cancel. I bring down this positive 4y. Since it's positive, I don't have to write the sign. I bring down the equal sign. Now I'm going to write both of these because they're not like terms. I can't do anything to them. And I'm going to put the x term first. So I have a negative 7x, and that's a negative 4. Get y by itself. It needs to be completely by itself. So next, divide everything by 4. When you divide by a positive number, the signs stay the same. So we're just going to have y equals negative 7/4, because 4 doesn't divide into 7, negative 7/4 x, minus 4 divided by 4, which is 1. And that's it. That is slope-intercept form. Okay? For example 3, it really isn't any different at all. So if you want to pause the video and work this one out on your own and see if you get it right, go ahead. And if you want to fast forward to the next one because you already understood the first two, that's okay too, whatever you wish. All right, I'm going to work it out. Okay, again, we're getting y by itself. So that means this guy has to stay where it is on the left side, and the 3x is going to move to the other side and become a negative. So I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. See how it went from positive on this side to a negative on this side. Okay, these cancel. Oopsies, sorry, what just happened? Okay, so the 3x's will cancel. Okay, I did it again. Hold on. Let me try that again. The 3x's cancel. And we bring down our negative 4y, bring down the equal sign, and bring down the negative 3x and then the negative 28. To get y by itself, divide everything by negative 4. When you divide by negative, it does change all the signs. So now we have y equals 2 negatives make a positive 3/4 x, and 2 negatives make a positive, and 28 divided by 4 is 7. That's it. Okay, last one is a tiny bit different. I'm going in reverse again. I do not know what I'm doing still on this thing. What in the world? Okay, here we go. All right, this one's only a little bit different because of the negative y without it being a number, but if you treat it the same, you'll be fine. Here we go. No, we don't. What am I doing? Hold on, let me pause. Okay, I got it together. All right, last example. Getting y by itself, slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Got to get the y by itself on the left side of the equal sign. So I want to leave this y on the left side and move the 6x to the other side, which will make it negative. So I'm going to subtract 6x on both sides. When I do that, the 6x's on the left go away. And I have a negative y, and that sign is stuck to the negative y, so it's negative y. Bring down my equal sign. Bring both of these down, but put the x term first. Negative 6x, positive 1. Now, the only glitch here is y is not yet by itself. You can't even have a negative in front of it. And if you remember, a negative out in front with no number just means it's like a negative 1. So most people will just divide everything by negative 1. But it's just as easy to multiply by negative 1. Whether you multiply or divide by negative 1, it really is just changing all the signs. So your answer becomes y equals positive 6x and a negative 1. And that is slope-intercept form. It doesn't have to have fractions. It just has to have the y by itself, then the x term, and then the constant. All right, guys, I hope you remembered how to do that. I hope you're doing well. Good luck on today's worksheet. Tomorrow's assignment is just going to be a review of these two assignments. Thursday is a practice test, and remember, the practice tests are not optional. Okay, that is one of your assignments, and then quiz on Friday. Good luck. Hope you're doing well. Be safe. Stay healthy. Stay happy. Miss you all.